Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 81. I'm your host, Rico. I'm here with my co-host,
Dane Cody.
We get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, gadgets,
Whatever the hell we like.
PC, game culture, and whatever the hell we like.
Oh, okay.
Geek culture, I should say, not game culture. Yeah, so if you're new to the show, welcome. If you've listened to before, you know the routine. We usually shoot the shit for a bit, get into the news, or what we've been playing, get into the news, and then our random free-for-all section, where we talk about whatever the hell we like. And then sometimes we open up with our little DD section, the designated drinking section, which is usually where Dane shares what fancy alcohol he's sipping on as we record the show.
It is so good tonight.
It's so good.
Oh, it is delicious. I'm rocking some Bullet bourbon. Man, is it tasty.
Bullet bourbon. Does it come like in a bullet-shaped bottle?
No,
That'd be so much cooler.
Yeah. This is their rye, actually, so it's not actually technically a bourbon, I guess. This is their rye. This would be the Bullet rye. It's delicious. A little bit, just a tiny bit sweeter than like a bourbon.
Canadian, American.
It is American. I believe they're from Kentucky.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, it's real stuff there. So, it's delicious. Quite tasty. One rock, as per usual. So, that's
nice.
what I'm drinking.
I, as always, aim to disappoint, and I'm drinking nothing. I gotta get something to drink. Alcoholic. I really need it too.
Come on, man.
I've been working a lot of OT lately.
So you can afford some nice scotch or something. Treat yourself.
Pretty sweet, but I think after a month of it now, I'm kind of feeling it a little bit. But
yeah,
OT
will hit you, man.
I gotta get it while the getting's good, right? Like, we get double time at my work, and it adds up very quick.
Yes, it does.
Hence, fancy new TVs, and even fancier new crazy video cards. If you missed last week's episode, I bought a 1080. Because I'm an idiot.
Pretty much.
But I got a screaming ass PC, idiot.
Fair enough.
OT's been good in regards of totally funding the Rico Gadget Fund.
Nice.
What did I do this weekend? Okay, yeah. Obviously, I got the video card after we recorded last week.
Right, because we talked, last week you had ordered it, but you hadn't got it yet.
Yeah, so I'll do this a little out of order. I was going to save this for free-for-all, but this is, let's just say this is the free-for-all section right now. Up front, since we're talking about it, I was going to talk about the 1080. I ordered it last week. I got it after we recorded. Obviously, I was all panicked because the email was like, it was, I think, Friday? Yeah, Friday I got it. And I'm like, worried that I was going to miss the delivery guy because I was working.
Right.
And the wife's like, oh, I got to go do all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, can you please stay home? Because if he shows up, if you don't miss him, I'm not going to get it till Monday. And that would have been very annoying. And I was super excited for it. So she stayed home and didn't really screw her plans up too much. Because
make sure that the delivery guy delivered the goods.
Yeah, Adeline was napping. So, yeah, it worked out anyway. So, obviously, I get home and ignore my family and slap it in my tower. Pull out my old video card, which is eventually going to go in the podcast machine. So, now I technically have two pretty decent gaming PCs.
Oh, there you go.
A 1080p rig and a 4K rig, which is pretty sweet. But, so I slapped it in, turned it on, and then my computer, turned off. And then turned on. And turned off, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, no, please, no. And then it booted up.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the BIOS just regging the new video card.
I thought you were going to say you had to get a bigger power supply.
Well, I have an 850 gold or platinum. Like I have a really good power supply already.
How old is it?
It's only 4 years old, maybe.
Okay.
It's not that old.
Each year, if you run it fairly heavily, you lose about 10% a year.
Seriously?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So that's why they're the most common part
that's why
to fail.
a lot of times, 4 to 5 years, you want to probably replace it.
It eventually gets to a point where it's not supplying the power if you built around the peak output.
Exactly.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, because quite often most people's PC problems are like shitty power supplies.
That's a big place where a lot of people cheap out. I never cheap
absolutely.
out on motherboards and power supplies. And as a personal, like, PC building tip, I try not to cheap out on cases because working in a shitty case sucks.
Yeah.
But that being said, the one thing, like, if you do want to, buy a cheap case to save money or whatever, that's up to you. But the couple places that I do not cheap out on are power supplies and motherboards. Just don't do it. It'll save yourself so much headache if you do not cheap out on those two things.
I concur. I think I learned that lesson the hard way on one of my maybe 2 PCs ago. I did not have a very good power supply and was having all kinds of random issues. And I didn't have a power supply tester at that time, which I do now because it's probably one of the most essential tools if you have a custom built PC.
Very helpful.
Oh, yeah. Because then you know right away. It's like, oh, power supply.
Yep. You're just not getting clean power. Your rails aren't going to be supplying the power that you need them to properly. There's going to be like a lot more fluctuations. Overall, it's just not going to be ideal. If you're building a big badass PC, just spend the extra $50 and get the good power supply.
Yeah,
it's
so
worth
after that experience, I'm like, never again, because it's you'll get all kinds of erratic behavior and think it's other stuff. You'll reinstall Windows. You'll do all kinds of crazy shit. And then it'll still keep happening.
Power supply stuff can really be the ghost in the machine. Literally. If you have just a bad, because sometimes it's just little things. You have one of the rails that drops just a little bit under load. And depending on the components that you have in it, it's one or two of those components could be really susceptible to that. It goes on and on. So yeah.
Yeah. And or you're not driving it very hard. So it's fine for a week or two. And then you do something where the video card needs that extra power. And then the computer just like, bam.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of shit I was having. And then I figured it out. So I have a good power supply in this machine.
Yeah.
I think it was just the BIOS, like realizing that it's a new video card. And then it hasn't done, been fine.
Awesome.
I remembered it did it that I had a similar thing, not on this PC, but on the one that's in the podcast machine.
Right.
When I put the 780 Ti, it did the same thing because I remembered it doing that similar thing.
Right.
So anyway,
that makes sense.
was not paying too much attention to it.
As long as it comes back up and it works good, that's all that matters.
It shuts down, turns off, and does everything just fine. So this bad boy, this beautiful baby, got her in there. Got my Titanfall 2 installed. I actually played Titanfall 2 in the morning before I had the card.
Okay, so you played it on your 780
I played it on my 780, which at the time I'm like, it's fine. It's playing fine.
Right.
But I didn't. Well, did I have everything? I think I turned everything up. But I noticed it was smooth, but it wasn't. I instantly noticed when I put the 1080 in that it was smoother.
Right.
Like it was just butter.
I would hope it would be.
I don't know if it was dipping or not, but Jesus Christ. I instantly noticed. I don't know if it's possible that the picture got better, but I feel like the picture even looks better.
That stuff's probably in your head, but
probably. So I have a long HDMI, which I ran from my computer to my TV.
Okay.
But it doesn't support 4K, so I can't test that.
Oh, but you got to get
I got to get another one.
What is it, a 2.0 high-speed HDMI?
Something stupid, which is going to be really expensive because I need like a 25-foot long HDMI.
Ooh.
So I had it cutting across the room, and my wife's like, yeah, that's not cool. I've almost tripped over this twice, like coming in and out of my office.
Right.
But I will tell you, on my TV, just running at 1080p with everything on and as high as possible, like triple buffered VSync, insane texture quality, very high and high for the highest settings for everything on.
Wait, why are you running it triple buffered?
What's that?
Why are you running it triple buffered?
It said it's better.
It locks your frame rate, right?
Either way, it doesn't matter. On the TV,
fair enough.
It looked amazing. This thing looks amazing. I thought like Destiny and everything else looks good on this TV. Titanfall 2 on my TV from my PC
blew your mind.
It looks awesome. It is so razor sharp, crystal clear. I'm even happier with my TV, and it's not, like I said again, it's not even 4K.
That's awesome.
It's insane. So I did a little project on the weekend, and
put in your HDMI cable.
Yeah, I put it in through the crawl space.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
I thought you had to get a new HDMI cable.
I haven't got a new one yet.
So
I blasted a big ass hole, like 1.5 inches with one of my auger bits into the wall. Actually, I had a hole in the wall from the crawl space on the TV side already.
Oh, okay.
That I think I put there in anticipation of running more stuff into that cavity.
Right. That makes sense.
So I blasted it just super huge hole just so I can jam HDMIs or USBs or anything else I want to run from my PC to the TV.
Right.
So my office is like, for anyone, you've seen my office, I think, but most people have not.
A few times.
It's a square room. I have a corner desk in one corner with my computer, 3 monitor setup, yada, yada. And then if I turn to my right, I'm facing the biggest wall in my office. And that's where I have my TV, like, wall-mounted. My consoles are, like, on a table, little setup. And that's, like, my console corner. And then I have my PC corner. So I could just turn sideways and play.
Nice.
But the office side is an outside wall. So it's sitting on foundation. And I'm like, God damn it. I had to figure out, there's a little section of wall behind my desk that I'm like, hey, this has got to be inside wall. But of course, for whatever reason, the foundation, this is by the front door, so the foundation went in a couple feet. I guess to support the weight of the big opening front door section of the house. There was it went a little farther than I thought. So I couldn't just drill up into the cavity. So I was having a little problem with that. Luckily, I noticed there was some power going up, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be the light switch that's in my room or the hallway.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, that's got to be that wall. Did some, little measurements, and I'm like, that's got to be the wall. I had a flex bit, and I drilled down from upstairs. So if you guys aren't familiar, flex bit's like a big long drill bit, but it's got a flexible bit, so you can bend to kind of drill down into
it's
tough
like a
places.
Flex bit?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Wow.
But because my desk was in the way, I didn't have the bending tool, I couldn't get a sharp enough angle to be going straight down at a 90. So I was probably going on a 45 a little, maybe not even that much, or maybe more than a 45. But I was going in on an angle that I was just hitting the top of that foundation.
Okay.
So I'm like, crap.
Oh, that sucks.
So I had to drill from downstairs on an angle and just hope I didn't come up through the floor. This is my trade, so I know what I'm doing. So I'm just making this sound scary for dramatic effect. But I had the wife upstairs, and I'm like, hey, just let me know when you see the drill bit, because I had a hole cut out and a mounting bracket for a wall plate. So it's all done properly. And so she had a pretty decent sized hole, like the size of a light switch to look in, right?
Right.
And she's like, oh, I see it. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm like, I knew where I was. Just wanted to make sure before I freaking blasted this giant 1.5-inch hole through. So then, obviously, I got her done. Now I got a little cool little access, one of those curved holes that go down. And I can easily add new stuff or change stuff, which now when I'll basically use that existing HDMI as a pull string for the next one I put in.
Nice.
Which I meant to order, but I've been super busy.
Oh, but fair enough.
That's been on my to-do list for like years. Because I've been meaning to play more PC stuff on my TV, like even my last TV, but now that I have a dope-ass TV that I didn't get a freaking computer monitor, this is the kind of the reason why I didn't get one, because now I just have an awesome TV. Right. I played Titanfall 2 on my TV, the whole thing.
Nice.
Now I'm
Did you have to play that? Here's the question, though.
I played with a controller.
Ah.
Because it's very easy for me. The cool thing is with the PC, if you've never hooked it up with HDMI now, I think this started with Windows 7, the audio goes out on the HDMI, which is awesome.
Yep.
So you can have the audio in the TV. But I actually had the audio going through my computer to my headset. And my cords are all long enough that I just turn sideways, and I'm super comfortable playing with my controller, and it was awesome.
Very nice.
Now, I did not play multiplayer, because for that, I would probably want like a little lap board, so I got to look into something like that.
Yeah, that game needs to be played with a mouse and keyboard, especially online. Holy
I did play
crap.
I did play multiplayer just like on my monitor, which was just fine. Which is probably maybe better to play multiplayer on a smaller screen, because then you're a little more focused with the targets and enemies.
Yeah,
but it's
so fast, man. The multiplayer is so fast.
So I guess. Well, that's what I did. Did you get up to anything crazy?
This weekend? Not really, no. Kittens are getting big. Took the kittens to the vet for their first vet visit on the weekend there. Everything's good with them, and outside of that, played some Titanfall, finished the single player.
As did I.
Not overly long, but I didn't feel that it was way too short or anything either, so I was super impressed with it. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't short, so that's good for sure. I guess we can get into what you've been playing. So basically, we've both been playing Titanfall. I didn't play much else. Well, I played, the usuals, the Pokemon Go and Transformers Earth Wars and Pokemon. I don't even need to say that. Those are staples around here. But yeah, Titanfall 2, super pumped for that. I was kind of pissed that I didn't get my key Thursday night. I did get it Thursday night. I got it in the middle of the night.
Oh, really?
An email. Because I ordered from Green Man, which is they're legit. They're on the up and up, but unfortunately I didn't get to preload and play at 9:00 on Thursday night. And like you were playing after we didn't record Thursday. We recorded the other day, right? But you were playing. You were tweeting.
I was online at 9:02. I played from 9:02 to about 10 or 10:30. So I played the first few chapters of the campaign.
How? Did it just work? You had no hiccups? No issues? Okay, well, you didn't play multiplayer, so probably that single player probably wouldn't be affected. But I imagine if their servers were down, it might have had issues, but
that was my theory. See, I'd already preloaded the game before, so I already had it downloaded and ready to rock and roll. And then when it finally unlocked at 9, and it was just ready to go. That was it. So all I did was log in and change a couple display settings, and I was off to the races. It was great. Super happy with it. Trying to think, I had one weird issue where I got stuck loading in between levels. So I finished one campaign level and I was waiting for a second to load, and my game just kind of stopped working.
It just didn't load?
Yeah, it almost like it missed or something. So I essentially just closed the game, restarted, and everything else was totally fine. Game was like silky smooth. I was really impressed. Everything was on high. At one point I checked my frame rate with a frame rate checker, and I was usually getting over 100 frames a second. So
yeah, it uses I think it's a Source engine. Titanfall 2. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like a heavily modified version of Source, but I'm pretty sure that's what it uses.
I'm not sure. I know the original Titanfall was on a heavily modified Source engine. I don't know if they did the same with the second one.
I'm pretty sure they did. I don't think is there any Unreal or anything weird? No, I don't think so. I can't remember. Yeah, so Titanfall 2 has a campaign. It didn't have that last time. It was something we all really wanted. It was that was one, the multiplayer was great and all. The game was awesome, as is. But everyone kind of wanted to learn more about this world and see some of these amazing environments a little more open, and some of the creatures that you would see in the maps last time. People are always intrigued about all the monsters and animals that were in the world and so forth. And obviously the lore, because the multiplayer is great. They tried to sprinkle in lore and story and so forth. But it's kind of hard to get, because what did you get? Like little 30-second snippets of like radio chatter and so forth before a match started?
Yeah, it was. They did like little bits of radio chatter in the corner while the map was almost loading. It was kind of strange, actually. They tried to do.
It was like a story fake campaign,
but in multiplayer.
Yeah, you played multiplayer, and they loaded like these basically campaign, not even cutscenes, almost just like audio plays.
Yeah, there was like a little window would pop up, and a commander or whoever it was talking to you, would sort of tell you what was going on. Hey, we have to go do this thing, and this is why we're doing it. And it was not great.
No, it was an attempt to do some setup for the bigger story at hand.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than absolutely nothing, but yeah, it was definitely not a real campaign. It didn't. There's no cutscenes. There's no real. It was just multiplayer with, like we said, little radio plays essentially at the start and end of the match, giving some motivation as to why you were fighting at this area and so forth. So,
and the only reason that you really wanted to do it was to unlock the other Titans.
Yeah, they kind of forced you to play that mode. Yeah, exactly. To unlock.
So when you played both of the quote-unquote campaigns in Titanfall 1, after the end of each campaign, you would unlock the other one of the other two Titans.
Yeah, there was like three.
There was 3 Titans total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't played a lot of multiplayer, so I have no idea how the unlocks and all the customization works. I just haven't gotten that far. I basically just played the single player campaign and I think I've played 2 matches now. But obviously not enough to know everything.
Yeah, I definitely do not know everything. I was attempting to play last night, and I was the only one home, so I had the door open to my office, and the kittens were
just jumping
attacking my cords and jumping on the keyboard and climbing in my lap and being little shitheads. So
that's awesome.
I played through. I think I hit level 4. Yeah, I think I hit level 4 now. It's good. It's fast. I'm liking the fact that there's multiple Titans more now. There's 6 Titans total. There's way more unlocks. There's just a lot more depth to all of it. Yeah,
there's at least double the weaponry, eh?
Yeah, there's way more assault weapons, way more submachine guns.
Especially with how you can customize the loadouts. Yeah, literally, it's double, if not more.
Yeah, it adds a lot more depth. I was only playing attrition last night, which is sort of the standard.
I gotta play attrition. That's the classic Titanfall mode. I played Bounty Hunt, played a couple games, and we won both games, which was nice.
Okay,
I did pretty decent. I was swinging around with the grappling hook and stuff. Man, that game controls freaking good.
Yeah. I did not do great in either one of any of the matches that I played, really. But that being said, we did win all the matches that I played, so yay for everybody else on my team.
I did decent. I think I was a 1.5 KD. I don't think it gives them to you, but I definitely killed more than I died.
That's good.
It was fun. I just love it. It feels so solid, but yeah, the campaign, oh my god. Probably one of my favorite campaigns I've played this year.
Oh yeah.
Mind you, I haven't played Doom, and I haven't played Battlefield.
That's true, actually. I kind of forgot about that. I have not played Doom either.
I will correct those wrongs. I'm going to assume by the end of the year. Doom is super cheap now. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. And that game really makes sense to pick up with my crazy new card now.
I'm a little disappointed in myself. It was half price, a week, 2 weeks ago on Steam?
It's regularly around $25 here and there.
Huh.
Actually, I think the Steam Halloween sale is still going on.
Is it?
It might be. I don't know.
Check after this podcast.
Yeah, I don't have Steam on this machine. So basically, the campaign opens up kind of like your training mode, teaching you the basics of gameplay. If you'd never played Titanfall, it'll get you acquainted with the double jump, the wall run, running and shooting while on the walls, sliding and shooting, and a little intro to the feel of the game.
Oh, for sure.
Really cool intro. Your guy, Jack Cooper, he's just what is he?
He's a rifleman with dreams of being something
of becoming
better.
a Titan pilot.
Yeah.
But he's not quite there yet. The pilots
he's still heavily in training.
Yeah, Titan pilots are like the cream of the crop. Like they're
the Navy SEALs of their world.
So
they're badasses.
What is your group called again? Is it militia?
Yeah, you're part of the militia.
So
in Titanfall 2.
It's kind of like the Rebels and the Empire. The Empire, not the Empire, the IMC kind of rules with the iron fist. It's their way or the highway. You live under their rules and their control, and society is heavily policed. Resources are at a low, management of everything they're in control of, and there's a crisis. There's too many people, not enough food, not enough resources. But they're kind of like a warring group.
Yeah,
and they want absolute control of everything. They don't care for the environment of planets. They kind of steamroll through stuff and steal and take. And
I think what's happening, from what I gathered, was that the IMC, which is more or less the industrial military complex, but it has a funky name in the game. I think they gave it's a corporation in the game that is tasked with providing resources and, like you said, stuff for Earth, more or less. But you're so far out in the frontier, and people have made their lives on some of these other planets way the hell out, where there's millions of people on some of these planets, not billions.
They were saying 40 million.
Yeah, exactly.
On the militia's
homeworld.
Homeworld.
And the IWC wants to essentially, well, more or less pit mine the entire planet. They want all the resources, and they don't care about anybody on the planet.
Yeah, for their people.
They've been hitting all of these frontier planets and more or less killing everybody and taking all the resources, because in their mind, there's way more people at home and everything belongs to them, and they don't care. And I think that they're so far out into the frontier that I almost think that it doesn't even get back to Earth, and sort of the other people almost don't seem to know or care about what's going on way out in the frontier.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of happening, and obviously the people decide, like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We need to stop this from happening. So they start to rise up against the IMC, and that's kind of where Titanfall 2 starts happening. You're a guy, you start off as just your average Joe. I almost think they sort of talked about him possibly almost being a farmer who ends up joining up, and
that's basically kind of what it is. The frontier militia are just civilians fighting back. You can almost liken them to the Pilgrims, and the IMC being, good old Europe coming along after going, no, we want the new world now.
Oh, totally.
So it's kind of like that in space. Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. That's what IMC stands for.
Yeah.
So basically, how do they set up the game? You're going to investigate a new frontier base or weapon that they've gotten some information about. And basically,
there's a spearhead that happens onto the planet, and you're part of the sort of assault force to go down and figure out what's going on.
And your fleet is just decimated, and your forces are crushed and behind enemy lines. The game kind of opens up. And Jack Cooper, under certain circumstances, ends up becoming a pilot by necessity.
Yeah.
And the other main character is BT. What is it? 7274 or something? Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So BT is the Titan, and he actually has like a personality or AI.
Oh, totally.
And the game is basically Cooper and BT continuing this mission.
Right.
It is of the utmost importance. And
because the pilots are a part of a different... The pilots, in at least the one that BT was a part of, are part of a reconnaissance group. They're part of the SRS, which is the Space Reconnaissance Service or something like that. And their whole thing is, they're essentially special forces. So by becoming a partner with BT... Cooper, in a roundabout way, ends up having to do that type of stuff. So you kind of, in a roundabout way, get to become a badass. And that's where the game takes place. And what a cool fucking story.
It is an awesome story.
Oh, it was super cool.
Great characters. And it's not just a shooter. It's not just a Call of Duty, follow me.
I'm just going to put this out there right now. That game hit me with some pretty heavy feels towards the end. So
there is definitely some.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there was some heavy feels towards the end of that game.
There was definitely some good character moments for sure.
Yeah.
I played it and I couldn't stop. I just wanted
that's
to
exactly
keep going.
What happened.
The story was great. The characters were great. The motivation was awesome. So I don't really want to spoil stuff from the story, but the game is not just shooting. There's traversal and environmental puzzles. As a pilot, obviously you have a lot more mobility. So there's some sections where they separate you and the mech, and you have to get through these installations on your own and deal with puzzles and really cool platforming sections. So it's not just a shooter.
It kind of felt like platforming in first person done right for probably the first time ever in a first person shooter.
And there were some other neat mechanics that are introduced for a little bit. Don't want to spoil at all.
Totally. Those were cool. That actually reminded me very heavily of another game called Singularity.
I never played Singularity.
Yeah, it was a Raven. It was a game made by the Raven guys. Very good game. It's a few years old now, but super cool game. If you liked that section, you would like that game. So
you have a run-in and find out what the IMC are up to, and Blisk, which is the leader of a little... he's the militia leader dude, right? Essentially, there's this militia group, not militia...
Mercenary group
that the IMC have hired to protect the MacGuffin or initiate the plans, whatever they may be. And essentially, you have some really awesome, I want to say they're like boss battles, essentially.
Yeah, they totally are.
As the story is...
as you kind of work your way through the mercenary group.
And you really want to kill these fuckers because of the stuff they've done and the story motivation, their involvement, and how you got to where you are. It was great. It was awesome. Like, you had good bad guys, and you had interactions with them, and they all had... it was awesome.
I'm just going to put out there,
story.
One of the best endings to a video game I've played in a while, personally.
Yes.
I felt. The way that it ends, thought it was brilliant.
Excellent ending. And
closed it up super well, but there was definitely a little string left to open.
But like super motivation and hook for the sequel.
Totally.
It left
so
on
good.
such, like, it was satisfying, but at the same time, it's like, but it wasn't a Halo 2 ending where it just ended.
No, it had a good ending.
It had a really good ending, and the credit scene was really great, too.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And on top of that, just a super solid shooter and gameplay. The environments were great. The traversal was awesome.
The varied jumping in your mech, jumping out of your mech, having to do things on your own, having the mech stuff.
Mm-hmm, as you're progressing,
very well done.
Unlocking the new Titan abilities.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, having the various Titan loadouts unlock as you played through the game, and being able to access them at any time. You hit F1 and you can select whatever loadout you wanted. Very cool. And those are all various Titans and loadouts for the multiplayer game, which is cool.
BT is essentially the be-all, end-all Titan, who basically kind of simulated having all the Titans throughout the campaign.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you could change them on. Whatever. You could change the loadout on the fly, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was super helpful.
So as you unlocked them, if you didn't like one that they you weren't stuck.
No, not at all.
You could just change.
Which was really good, because I found that I had to change for the final boss, actually.
I'm trying to remember which one was my favorite. I kind of stuck to the ones they gave me, and I did pretty well with them.
The second loadout with the 40mm semi-automatic cannon seemed to be that was the one for me that seemed to work out the best.
Was that the Tone?
I think so.
I think that was Tone. Yeah, the only boss I had problems with was Viper. And I didn't have problems with him. He was just hard.
I replayed the final boss over a few times.
Yeah.
Viper, I'm trying to remember. I actually think I didn't die to Viper.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think I might have just not been using a good loadout for him.
Yeah.
So it made it harder than it had to be. And I probably should have changed. But, man, they're
another
so cool. The enemies are awesome.
Super cool enemy boss battle was Viper again. No, I thought it was fantastic. It made me kind of wish that the first one had a single player now, because I want to know more about the universe. I want to know more about the story. There's so many more stories that I hope they tell from that universe, and it's cool.
Hopefully there's some DLC. I would not be totally opposed to some story DLC. I would be very upset if this game, because they're idiots and sandwiched it between Battlefield and Call of Duty, because this kind of seems to be the story. It's like, it's not going to do as well because it's in between Battlefield and Call of Duty. They kind of did a disservice. Like, if this game came out at the start of September or even in August, this would be the only thing anyone and everyone would be talking about. So I really hope, I'm sure it's going to do fine, but I hope it doesn't bomb because of that.
I don't know how it's going to do, to be totally fair, because as much as I think that people playing Battlefield 1 are not necessarily the players that will play Titanfall. No, they're
very, very, very different games. But man,
I think that there is a lot of players, though, that there is overlap there. I'm going to play both.
They're very, because they're different.
Because they're different, and they're both first-person shooters that I want to play.
I don't know. Call of Duty is going to do really well, but I feel like Call of Duty's multiplayer is not as good as Titanfall's, and it's futuristic, and I feel like Titanfall's is better. And I feel with them being so close that some of the Call of Duty players might not play Titanfall 2 and realize that it's a pretty freaking solid multiplayer. I think it controls and is better than Call of Duty's.
I agree.
It's because especially with Call of Duty going future and doing wall running and double jumping and the same kind of stuff, I don't think it does it as good as Titanfall.
No, I think the traversal and the shooting in Titanfall I actually think is better.
It feels amazing. It feels so good. These are the
guys that did create the original Call of Duty.
Let's get that correct there. Like, they are the inventors of Modern Warfare and the Call of Duty franchise.
Yep.
The guys who make Titanfall. Let's not forget that. And basically created this whole genre and turned it on its head with Modern Warfare. And I think they're doing it again with Titanfall 2. And I feel like everyone's kind of playing catch up with them. But obviously Call of Duty has the Call of Duty, machine behind it. So
yeah, there's a lot of players that play Call of Duty every year. They buy Madden and Call of Duty, and that's the two games they buy.
I want to play Infinite Warfare. I will get Infinite Warfare, but honestly, out of the three, I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, after I play all three of them, I'm still gonna come out. I'm pretty sure with Titanfall being like my favorite.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be something pretty special, especially from a single player game, to knock that out for me. What a fantastic single player experience.
Oh, it was a great story.
Easily one of the best I've had in a while.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of my favorite this year, if not the best one this year. 9.5 out of 10.
Yes,
I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but I just want more.
And I can't wait to play more. I can't wait to play more multiplayer.
Yeah,
it is solid. It is solid multiplayer.
I'm going to start jumping into the multiplayer, and I'm probably going to play the campaign again.
Yeah, I think I might as well.
I had a lot of fun. It almost felt like a Mega Man. As you progress the story, you unlock new powers, fought really cool bosses. Such a good game.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I knew it was going to be good, but I had no idea how good it was going to be.
Mechanically built so much better on the original. I loved the original. One of my favorite first-person shooters to come out of the beginning of this generation, I guess I would say, because it did technically come out on the Xbox One just very early.
Yeah.
And this really expanded in all the ways that I hoped they would in a sequel. I got the really cool single-player campaign that I really liked. It wasn't overly long, but it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was too short. Like I honestly felt like it was a really good length.
I think it took me 3 sittings, maybe 4 sittings, compared to a Call of Duty, which is like 1 or 2 sittings.
Yeah, I think I spent 5 hours or so.
I don't know how many hours. I didn't look at a clock.
I'd have to look at Origin.
I know I played it Friday night, Saturday night, and like a big chunk on Sunday.
Okay, I finished it Saturday morning.
You really played a lot of it.
I played Thursday night, didn't play Friday, woke up Saturday. No, I actually finished it Sunday as well. Sunday morning, I was done before noon.
Yeah.
So it was like Saturday morning and then Sunday morning.
I think I was that afternoon, and I told my wife, and I'm like, that was probably the awesomest game I've played this year.
Yeah. My wife came in, and I said, I just want to finish this level that I'm on. Turns out that it was right towards the end of the game, and I couldn't stop. I had to go through and finish the game, so it hooked me. It hooked me in a good way.
It was good. If you were on the fence, I suggest you check it out.
Get off the fence.
The PC or the PS4 and Xbox One versions are apparently fantastic. They 60 frames. And they look great.
But you want to play this game with a mouse and keyboard.
Well, not everyone has crazy computers. But either way, you're not going to be done a disservice playing it on the consoles. So,
No.
Yeah, check it out. Titanfall 2. 2 thumbs up. 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I think that's all we really played, besides all the
Totally.
dumb mobile stuff on my end.
Exactly. Mobile stuff and Titanfall 2.
So, I think next week we'll probably be talking about Infinite Warfare. You got Battlefield, so you will definitely be talking about that.
I will definitely.
You should play the campaign. I heard pretty decent things about the campaign. I don't think it's as good as Titanfall 2's, but it's supposed to be, for a Battlefield campaign, it's supposed to probably be the best Battlefield campaign in a long time.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about it. So I will. It's going to be installed after this podcast, and I will probably play it over the next few days. So we'll see Battlefield 1.
Sorry for that bump. I punched my desk for some reason.
You should be sorry.
There's a loud thump on my hand. So I guess we can get into the news. So obviously we talked about the Nintendo Switch last week. And of course the internet is just dying for Switch news. People were unaware of whether it was touchscreen, and everyone was speculating. And Eurogamer, I want to say from sources, they've sussed out that the screen is a 6.2 inch 720p and multi-touch. Capacitive multi-touch screen.
I do want to point out, this is still speculation. This was definitely not Nintendo coming out and explaining what they are.
No, but
I think
Eurogamer, I think, was very...
The source that they got this information from is the source that told them pretty much all of the previous stuff about the NX, which has all come to fruition and been true. So it's a pretty safe bet that this is true. But I just wanted to put the disclaimer out there just in case it was wrong.
It wouldn't really make sense that it isn't a touchscreen, considering they've had, 3-4 systems now with touchscreens? All their systems have had touchscreens. So
this is the first time it's had a capacitive touch,
that's
though.
The nice
other
thing.
Ones were all resistive touchscreens.
So the nice thing is it is a capacitive like your cell phones, a hard surface.
I'm not going to lie. The more I see of this thing, the more this thing feels like a Shield tablet.
It is. I
swear the Shield tablet was 6.2 or 7 inches.
It pretty much is the evolution of that. Nintendo bought the next iteration, which is going to be able to run 1080p games, probably at a decent clip. Apparently, it's very close to Xbox One specs. Not quite a PS4, but an Xbox One that's portable. Mm-hmm. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
There's some fantastic games on machines of that power level. So, yeah, it was, we weren't really doubting it, but looks like it has a touchscring. I
feel like it needed to.
And a 720p screen makes sense for battery. The Wii U screen, I think, is 480p, so this is a big step up from that.
I do understand that the price difference between this and something like an iPad or, a tablet of that magnitude is quite significant. Mm-hmm. But I do just want to point out that everybody's been saying what you just said. From a battery perspective, it needs to be 720p.
Yeah, it's 720.
I just want to point out, though, that iPads and other tablets have way higher resolution screens and have battery life that's pretty fine.
Oh, yeah. When you're surfing the internet, if you're playing a game, that battery life on those things goes in the toilet. Especially on those high resolutions those displays put out.
Sure, but you still get 2 or 3 hours. Which is, I think, all we're probably going to be getting on this.
If you're playing a pretty intense game on a tablet, on an iPad, or I think you're pushing a couple hours.
I don't own one, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
but
I used to own one, and when I was doing really crazy shit, it didn't last very long. That's definitely one way to drain the battery. Wi-Fi, radio cranking away, and the CPU cranking away to play vids.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I'm looking at the original Shield tablet from 2014 is when it was released, July 2014.
Mm-hmm.
It has a 1920 by 1200 screen at 8 inches in it. And that was 2 years ago. Again, price difference here is obviously it's going to have a better insides are going to be better. But I still feel like they could have done better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not worried.
So.
I think that they had to make some concessions to this thing. You don't want something that's going to last 2 hours. You definitely want something that's going to last a while. So it definitely makes sense, and it's going to look great. On that size of the screen, 720p is going to look pretty crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's going to look great.
That's still bigger. That's still a bigger screen than my phone with a much less resolution, though.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to be fair, my phone is $1,000 if you were to buy it outright. That's fine. I'm just saying, though, that you can buy 6-inch tablets that are 1920 by 1200 or the like for $200-$300.
But you can't play Zelda or Mario.
Exactly. That is a thing that you are absolutely right.
So that's it for this week's Switch Rumor Zone. I'm sure we'll get more next week and the week after and the week after is
I'm sure.
One
will be the ongoing rumor mill.
So Titanfall 2 takes a shot at other shooters, making fun that they don't have a DLC or season pass, that all maps and modes will be free.
Yep.
No splitting up the community, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. Who likes season passes? Not me, especially when you never know what you're getting and they usually charge the same cost as the game. And to be quite honest, I think most season passes have under-delivered.
I think I understand the season's pass. You buy the season pass, every couple of months you get new DLC, maybe new maps or a new class or whatever. And the idea is to try and keep players from essentially taking the disc out of their machine on console or making sure the game's installed on their PC still. The idea is to keep them coming back.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what usually ends up happening, though, is if I do pick up a DLC, usually I don't end up playing it, and it's not usually worth my time or money later on because I've probably played through the game. I've probably played a bunch of multiplayer, and I'm probably more or less done playing the game when the DLC comes out. And on rare occasion, I've gone back and I've played through some DLC. Usually, though, those are like RPGs, Guild Wars 2, that type of thing. They'll release a big chunk. I'll go back, I'll play it. There's a story involved or something like that. When it comes down to, say, take Battlefield 4, for example, I believe I actually had the Seasons Pass or the Deluxe Edition that came with the Seasons Pass. I played it when it first came out. The story, played through a bunch of multiplayer. DLC came and went. I didn't really go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was more or less a waste.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're going to release this stuff for the people that are going to be around in 6 months still playing the game and still really enjoying it, I think this is a super awesome move for that. And in this case, it might be something that I would come back to and maybe play for a few weeks after the DLC. But I'm not one of those players that I'm only going to be playing Titanfall 2 or Call of Duty or Battlefield all for the next year till the next game comes out.
Yeah.
There's so many things for me to play personally.
Yeah, so to invest.
I want to get in, get my money's worth out of it, enjoy the crap out of it, and move on to something else. That's just the way I am at this point in my life. So I think that this is a really cool move. The one that I'm interested to see where it goes is obviously what is their DLC plan going to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, every game has one.
It's probably just going to be maps. Because it says all maps and modes.
Right.
So
I'm wondering, are they going to
we'll
release
see if there's
cosmetic things, skins, hats, etc. for purchase? You think?
I would just wonder if there'll be some single-player DLC. Who knows?
If they do that, I would be super excited. That is DLC I could actually get behind.
Oh,
that would be really cool.
With how good that campaign was, that
another side mission or another hour, even an hour.
Another chapter.
I'd pay $10-15 for another hour of that game. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
So,
poor No Man's Sky.
These guys are getting hammered. I kind of feel bad for them.
Oh, I feel totally bad. So Hello Games, the makers of No Man's Sky, were apparently the victims of a hack. Their email and their Twitter were hacked, and the hackers basically sent out a tweet last week, I think on Friday, and basically said, they just tweeted out, No Man's Sky was a mistake, and then sent emails under the guise of Sean Murray to a bunch of gaming outlets with a big long apology for the game. Yeah, Hello Games has been kind of on a hiatus from social media. I don't know what they're working on because it's been 2 months now and we haven't seen anything besides stability patches, I think, and bug fixes.
Right.
So there's been no real big tweaks or additions or like meaningful updates to No Man's Sky that really has me wanting to go back, because none of the base building stuff or any of that stuff they're talking about is there. So kind of sad. And of course it just stirred up the No Man's Sky shitstorm a little bit that had kind of died down.
I think they'd gotten past it, and I think the people that were still playing it were probably still enjoying it, and the people that weren't.
The people that are still playing it are definitely enjoying it, but obviously the people that were not too happy
either got their money back or stopped playing it.
They probably kind of loved seeing Hello Games getting kicked while they were down. It's just kind of shitty. It sucks.
Yeah, this was mean.
Yeah, it was really mean.
Yeah.
So peace has been restored, and yeah, it was all a hack. The game wasn't a mistake. In 3-year-old or 4-year-old games getting updated, Nintendo had an Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct. I think it was today, and they've updated Animal Crossing on 3DS to add amiibo support. There's like a bunch of unlocks with amiibos. There's a new area.
Okay.
New characters. I think there's like maybe even mini games that have been unlocked. Apparently it's like a huge update, and it's basically adding amiibo support and Animal Crossing amiibo card support. So yeah,
apparently they want people to go back and play that.
Yeah,
that is so weird. Amiibos.
The cards are dumb, but the other amiibos I have unlock stuff in the game. So new visitors come to your town.
Are people still
you can get these people to move to your town?
Are people gonna start playing this again just because of this? Are people still playing this?
Oh, there's people still playing Animal Crossing for sure.
Oh,
people love Animal Crossing. Desert Island Escape game. Animal Crossing Puzzle League is another game. Yeah, so there's like new little mini games.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, updates to games, new features. Why not? It gives me something to do with my amiibo, because amiibo don't do jack shit.
Exactly.
I updated the game. I updated it earlier today, but I haven't played it to see the new stuff. I'll report back. Skyrim Special Edition. Apparently it's janky. Got the good old Bethesda jank. Surprise! A game that came out 5 years ago, re-released, still has fucking bugs. This is even a new fucking game. Like, that's the funny part. I love Skyrim. Skyrim was fantastic. I played the F out of Skyrim. 200, 300 hours, I think, of Skyrim. It's kind of the reason why I don't want to play it again. Of course, it's going to be prettier, but
I feel like it's going to be one of those things that
it was already
better
pretty.
in your memory now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the jank. Some of this jank is hilarious. Kotaku did a story.
Yeah,
and there's a bunch of GIFs where you can see some of the jank, and some of it's pretty funny. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah.
Things are teleporting around, and your horse is
walking through
disappearing and falling.
Classic. Classic Bethesda jank, which is kind of sad because they're just charging you full price for a game that came out 5 years ago. Yes, they've bundled all the content. If you haven't played Skyrim, this is probably not a bad time to jump in. I'm sure this stuff will get patched and fixed, but it's just fucking Bethesda, man. Seriously. Like, Fallout 4, every single one of their games always has such... it's not stuff that freaking makes... I don't know, maybe for some people it doesn't run, but it definitely breaks the immersion when your horse falls through the environment or an enemy is stuck in a rock or enemies or NPCs are floating in the air. It really kind of takes you out of the world, so it is kind of annoying. It still works, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think that...
This was a new game, though. That's the thing. It's not a new game. It's not a new game.
Yeah. That is sort of the joke here, I think, that... As they're saying, part of it is... The price tag, at least, is part of it is you get all the DLC pack-ins, as well as mod support, along with the remastered stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm going to skip it. Maybe if it goes on crazy sale, but I don't really feel like I need to play a game I already put a few hundred hours into, even if it looks better.
It's a game that is not really... I don't know why. Yeah.
So...
Not my game.
GameSpot put together a little file with all the PS4 Pro games that are getting upgrades.
Right. They've got a whole list of...
Basically, I don't want to go. I don't want to go through all these. I'm just going to read names. But Battlezone, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, which isn't even out, Infamous Second Son, older game, getting updated, HDR support and 4K. They don't really go into detail on that one, but
yeah, it's just
Killing Floor 2, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, older game, pretty sweet.
Interesting that super sampling anti-aliasing that they're adding to Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor is exactly what the PC got for their 4K textures and stuff.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything about 4K res, but NBA 2K17, Paragon. No one cares about Paragon. Thumper, Titanfall 2, The Witness, and then there's a list of games with unconfirmed details. Battlefield 1. I heard Battlefield 1 is getting HDR support. Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That was at the top, wasn't it? Days Gone. Dishonored 2. I actually emailed Bethesda to actually ask about Dishonored 2, and they're going to get back to me. Because,
very cool.
I'm kind of thinking of a game to play on my PS4 Pro, and I feel like Dishonored 2 would be a cool game to play on there. So I wanted to see if they were adding anything of substance, whether I was going to get it for my PS4 Pro or on PC. So, I don't know. I'll find out.
Fair enough.
Farpoint, FIFA 17, Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I imagine, is going to just... It performed pretty well when you guys played it, but I imagine it'll just be even more solid on the Pro. And I am getting Final Fantasy 15, so that's good news.
Oh, excellent.
For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Infamous First Light, which is a PlayStation Plus title. That already got updated, I think. The patch just came out. So you get HDR if you have if you have a PS4, because they added that to all PS4s through some kind of voodoo magic. The Last of Us Remastered, another spectacular game. I think it's just getting HDR support. Mass Effect Andromeda, Pro Evolution Soccer, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Skyrim, Special Edition, Spider-Man, Steep, Uncharted 4, and Watch Dogs 2. So, yeah. Anyway, it looks like pretty much everything coming out is going to get support. Not so much everything that has come out in the past will get. Destiny, Bungie said maybe it could happen. So that's probably a big fat no. Witcher 3 is not, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because it would just be too much. They're saying too much time and resource consuming process. So that kind of sucks. But I
get that though. I mean, that's huge.
I assume though, at the very least, if you play any PS4 game that may have dipped below their like 30 frames and so forth, I imagine there's going to be a noticeable, like, just a smoothness because some of those dips will go away that they would have been happening in some of those games.
Right.
This is going to be a more powerful system. So by the nature of it being more powerful, you're going to see a tiny bit of frame improvement. Probably just the dips will go away. So the games will just feel smoother for some of the ones that were a little taxing.
Yeah,
Like Witcher 3, I think Witcher 3 dipped a bunch. So yeah, they're not adding new support and HDR and higher resolutions, but it'll probably feel like it plays better.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they did release a performance patch for it, because I would think that it would be fairly easy to do. But that being said, like they said, they're working on Cyberpunk 2077.
Because with the Xbox One S, games were seeing like 7 to 15 frame second performance buffs with no patches, right?
I guess that's true, just because there is better hardware
horsepower
inside.
And there's just a little link I put in. Guerrilla Games came out on PlayStation Blog and talked about how the PS4 Pro enhances Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not really going to get into it in depth, but yeah, it is enabling them to make the game look a lot better, whether you're playing on a 1080p or a 4K screen. So that's cool. It was neat that they came out and said that.
That kind of sucks though, because it's making me want a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I'm getting a Pro.
I need one, but I kind of want one.
I'm definitely getting one.
That's the worst.
At least I have that limited edition system that will pay the cost. So, and this is kind of what like talked me out of getting the Xbox One S, because the Scorpio.
Right.
So I'm just like, I'll wait on that one. Get the Pro, because there's actually there's not really any exclusives on X. Well, I really want Forza Horizon 3. And I know I want Dead Rising 4, but I think I'm more excited about some of the PlayStation exclusives. I really do want an Xbox One S, but I just bought a freaking 1080, so I had to draw a line somewhere. The Xbox One S was half that card. That's how I justified buying that. Because I have an Xbox, which is just perfectly fine. Gears 4 played awesomely on it and looked amazing on it. In some positive news, and this was actually really bugging me because I wanted to, I don't know if did that noise come through my mic?
No.
Okay, good. Stupid GameSpot and their freaking pre-roll video ads that start when you open their stories. This is kind of why I don't go to the site anymore. Every story,
annoying, but I still like them.
Every story opens up with a goddamn autoplay video ad. It's really annoying. Call of Duty's VR experience is free to all PS4 owners. You don't have to buy the Infinite Warfare. I was split on getting Call of Duty for PS4 or PC just because of their VR portion that was coming out.
Right, we talked about that. You were saying how
I kind of want it
because you really wanted to play it in VR. Yeah. It looked super cool.
And then they have the 4K stuff that they're doing for PS4 Pro.
Right.
So I was split because I really wanted to play the VR thing. Hey, I get to play it. And now I can get Infinite Warfare on PC where I really wanted to get it because that's where my brother-in-law's getting it. And it's probably where you're getting it. And
Of course.
And it's a first person
and mouse.
Yeah, it's a first person Twitch shooter. I need keyboard and mouse. I'm too old to play on a controller. Though I still wreck shop in Destiny, I'm not gonna lie. In multiplayer.
I just get frustrated. I just want a keyboard and mouse so bad.
I really think I'm gonna buy the keyboard and mouse adapter for the PS4. So I can freaking get it.
I'm just hoping Destiny 2 comes out on PC and I won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, if it comes out on PC, I will probably pick it up there.
I've said it before. If they release Destiny 1 on PC, I would probably buy it again.
It would be really cool if they do Destiny 2 on PC. I would like them to do kind of like what Gears 4 does. And they let you play the campaign and the co-op stuff with console players. They just don't let you play multiplayer against console people.
I like that idea a lot. I think that's
really
super cool.
So for like the raids and the cooperative stuff in Destiny, if that allowed you to play with console people,
that'd be awesome. That'd be super cool. Just don't let the PC players play competitively against the guys with controllers because they'll wreck shop.
So yeah, this Friday, we'll have to download that and check that out on our PSVR. Man, I really meant to. I really meant to play that Robot Rescue, but I didn't get to that. I think I'm going to do that after we're done recording.
You should do that.
On a plus note, side note, that Star Wars VR that's coming out for Battlefront owners, they just dropped the price for Star Wars Battlefront on PS4 to $20 or $19 at EB. So I didn't pick it up today. But for $20 for the X-Wing VR thing that's coming out, it ties into Rogue One. Yeah.
If I'm going to get this again, I want to get it on PC. I don't want to. I'm never going to play Battlefront.
No, I'm never going to. But for
console?
for $20, you're buying it for the Battlefront Rogue One X-Wing VR mission.
But how long is that thing going to be? It's probably going to be 15 minutes.
It's flying a fucking X-Wing, dude. It doesn't matter how much it is.
I'll think about it.
You take on a Star Destroyer from the cockpit of an X-Wing.
Awesome. Dang it. Yeah, I saw the mission that they were showing. They've already released it to some YouTubers and stuff it looks really cool.
X-Wing VR mission is currently planned for a holiday launch, and it'll be free to all Battlefront owners.
Oh. I wonder if that means that if I have an Origin account linked to my PS4 that I can just play. Oh, man.
I don't think so. I doubt it.
That would be awesome.
It does say all. Yeah. I'm for $19. It's like, I'll buy it. I didn't pick it up when I was there, but just anyone out there who was wondering about that?
Huh.
It's not out yet, which kind of sucks. Public service announcement. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is going to be free on Uplay. If it hasn't started already. Beginning November 9th. My mom's birthday. My mom is giving you all Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon for her birthday. So that's on PC. I already own it, but hey, if you don't own it and you have a PC, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is pretty great. And now you have no excuse not to play it.
Fair enough. I think I already own Blood Dragon.
Yeah, I have Blood
from
Dragon
some other Steam sale or something like that, but still, that's awesome.
I think I bought it when it came out. Far Cry 3 was fucking amazing. And another public service announcement. If you go to EB Games right now, you can get mythical legendary Pokemon Genesect for free. So just ask them at the counter. They have cards with codes. Download that mythical Pokemon. It's getting ready for the Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Oh, yes. So much Pokemons.
Oh, I skipped the
You
story
skipped
here.
the Pokemon story.
Yeah. Oops.
Jeez. I tell you.
Speaking of Pokemon, this link is broken.
I just realized that myself.
Pokemon Go is getting daily and weekly bonuses for active users. if you have been playing or noticed last week they had the Halloween event, and I think it's still going on, where they've totally like upped the encounter rate for ghostly Pokemon.
Yeah,
they upped the amount
scary Pokemon, as they said.
They upped the amount of candy that you get from just catching any and all Pokemon. They've lowered the distances for getting candy with your buddy Pokemon. And
excellent.
Anyway, the game charted again. It hadn't charted. It dropped off the charts. Because
Really?
obviously a lot of people stopped playing it. I fixed the link now if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
So obviously seeing that surge in people coming back, I imagine, or maybe this is something they're working on. The game's been super popular. Let's not lie. They've been busy with all kinds of shit. But
still haven't figured out how to get fucking tracking working yet. Maybe when they do that, I'll come back and play it.
That's when Pokemon Go 2 comes out.
Oh.
That's the big feature for Pokemon Go 2. So big XP boosts, item stuff, little mini quests. Obviously, shit to get you hooked because
they want
do
you to
this
log in
every day for 7 days. Do this action every day for 7 days. So I bet you it'll work. Those hooks kind of work in those types of games.
I won't lie. I have tried to open up my Pokemon Go over the last, I don't know, every so often. And I have not had a Pokemon even show up around me in the last while. It's really disappointing. I
only play it because I got that stupid little glowing button that I push every once in a while. You can, and since we're on the topic of Pokemon, and I meant to put this in the outline, I totally forgot. You can preload Sun and Moon now on the 3DS if you pick it up from the eShop. Is it eShop?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nintendo eShop. It is 3.2 gigs. It is huge. It is probably one of the biggest 3DS games. So you might have to clean out your card and make some space for that. I was looking at I was trying to look at my hard drive space. I'm not going to lie.
I dislike the way that they do that on
they do
on the
some
3DS, the way that they do it with the blocks.
Yeah, it's blocks. And honestly, when I went in to manage my space, it didn't tell me how many blocks I had free, so I had no idea. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. I have to figure that out. And I think I have a 32 gig card in there, so I should have a lot of space. I do have a lot of downloaded games on my 3DS, to say the truth. A lot of stuff I've gone digital with that, because it just makes sense to not have to cart stupid carts around.
Fair enough.
Oh, I can't wait.
The fact that you can get regular SD cards that fit the 3DS was a huge win.
Yeah.
Huge win.
Vita.
Because you could buy a 64 gig card for cheap and stick it in there, and ta-da!
Stupid Vita.
Yeah. Still kind of butthurt about that.
Just over 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Besides Titanfall 2, this is probably my most excited game of the year. I'm an idiot.
Wow.
I know. I'm a fucking tool.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I know. I did. I think that's about it, my friend.
Yeah, not a ton of news.
I talked about my video card. Doctor Strange comes out this week.
Oh man, I am so excited about that. That looks freaking awesome.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to watch that. I would like to, but
I really, really want to. I'm not sure. I'm debating if I want to pick up tickets beforehand. It looks so good.
It does look pretty cool. It's definitely going to be
That is my most exciting. I'm most excited about that.
You're a huge fan of Doctor Strange. So
absolutely. He's one of my favorite characters.
It's definitely going to open a new avenue in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Absolutely.
Because we haven't really seen a lot of
one, right?
Yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of the magic side of Marvel.
Yeah, we're going to see it there. We're also going to see it in the upcoming Iron Fist movie or TV show on Netflix. we'll be seeing it a bit more there as well. So
it's cool.
Which is super cool. I like that mystical stuff.
You're watching it for sure this weekend?
I'm hoping to. I really, really want to. It's kind of on my priority list. I love Doctor Strange. I want to see it. I want to see it in 3D because I feel like there's so much cool, mind-boggling shit in that movie that sort of needs to be seen in 3D. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll see what I can get tickets for and when I can get tickets. But I really want to see it. I might even see if I can pre-order tickets for maybe Friday night or Saturday or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, I will try my best. A short one, a shorty but a goodie.
Yeah, I think so.
You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
As always, you can hit me up on Twitter at DaneCody, at DaneCody.
Next week, Dane will be back to talk about Battlefield.
Oh.
I will definitely talk about the Infinity Ward VR thing. And most likely we'll talk about some Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, we got a good show lined up next week.
And I hope I can talk about Battlefield. We're still working on that one.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Until next week, thanks for listening. Make sure to review us on iTunes, share us with your friends, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment below, all that jazz.
Oh yes.
Peace.
Later.